You felt it before it ever even made sense to you, didn't you? There was a quiet shift. The phone calls that stopped, the text replies that got shorter from friends and family, and a sudden coldness in rooms that used to feel warm and welcoming. And you might have tried to explain it away, to justify it, like they're probably just busy, like maybe I'm just overthinking it. That's what he tells me. Maybe I did something wrong. But deep down there's a piece of you that knows something shifted. You knew the story was changing. There was a narrative that was different. And you didn't know who was writing it or what was behind it or that it was happening behind your back. Because it wasn't just him gaslighting you anymore. It was everyone you thought would always believe in you seemed to disappear. People swore that they would never pick sides. The one who said, I've got you, I've got your back. The ones who told you, you're like family to us. And now they don't look at you the same. There's a difference. He got there first. He spun the narratives while you were still catching your breath from his last blow. He took your tears and he twisted them into instability. He took your silence and he called it cruelty. He took your heartbreak and he labeled it madness. And you stood there stunned because how do you defend yourself against a story you never even knew was being told to other people? You weren't just fighting for truth anymore. You were fighting for your own voice, for your name, for your reputation, for the right to be seen, to be heard, to be safe. And it broke something inside of you. Not just because you lost him, but because you lost all these other people in your world. And they didn't even ask. They didn't even wonder. Like they didn't come to you with questions and they just came with conclusions, being like, okay. And they let him lead the way of the narrative. And now you're alone in a way that words can't even hold you. But let me ask you something just gently, lovingly, fiercely. Who stayed? Not in theory, not in old memories, but like right now, today, who is still with you? Because the ones who left when you needed them the most, that wasn't your fault. That was their limitation. That was their belief. That was their fear of discomfort that left them. Their addiction was two easy stories. Their inability to hold space for your pain. You gave them the benefit of the doubt and they used that. You gave them the room to come closer. Instead, they chose distance and they walked away. You didn't push them away. You didn't create this. You didn't make this happen. They drifted away towards comfort and he offered them just enough comfort to choose him and not you. Because he shows up charming, polished, persuasive, a victim when it suits him, a saint in public, and a storm behind closed doors that destroys you. And now he's painted you as the storm. But the truth inside is you already know deep inside you, you're not the one who burned it all down. But he told you that. You were the one who kept trying to put out the fire with your bare hands while he kept adding more gasoline. You keep replaying conversations in your head, wondering, maybe there was something I could have done differently. Maybe I could have said it differently, softer, calmer, more believable. Maybe I could have phrased it differently. But let's be honest here. He never needed proof. They never needed facts. All it took was his performance. Carefully timing vulnerability, rehearsing regret, and his ability to spin pain into sympathy without ever owning that he did anything to you. And they fell for it, not because they're evil people, but because it was easier to believe the one who smiled calmly than the one who was drowning in the aftermath screaming for help. And that's what no one tells you about narcissistic abuse. It doesn't end when the relationship ends. It echoes through your friendships, through your family, through the triggers, through the trauma bond, through every hallway where someone else got to hear his version first. And every time you try to speak your truth, there's a lump in your throat because you're not just fighting to be heard. You're fighting the fear that no one actually wants to hear it. You've watched people shift. You've watched friends pull away. They've gotten tired of your stories. They've gotten tired of being focused on him. Not because you changed, but because he made sure that they changed towards you. And now you're at a place you don't even know who's safe anymore. You're second guessing every single thing, every single thought, every smile that you give other people, every silence, every how are you? It sounds just a little too scripted. And maybe you've told yourself at this time, I'll just stay quiet. It's not worth the drama. But the part I need you to remember inside of this is your silence won't protect you from the story that he's telling. He's not done talking. He's not done twisting. He's not done making sure that the damage sticks and badmouths you. That doesn't mean you have to go public or confront or every lie. But it does mean this. You can't build a new life based on protecting his narrative. Because you know where that leads. You've already lived it. You've bit your tongue. You've made yourself small. You've tried to be the bigger person while apologizing, while forgiving, while he keeps sinking you lower and lower. That's not healing. That's simply hiding. And you at this point, you've probably done enough hiding. It's okay if your voice shakes in the moment. It's okay if your story seems messy and you don't know how to phrase it or put it all together. It's okay if not everybody claps when you finally speak. Like, it's just you understanding that you're not doing this for other people's validation or approval. You're doing this to reclaim your sanity. To stop living inside the version of you that he created to keep himself clean. To stop looking for closure in people who benefited from your silence. You're doing this so that you can hear yourself again. So that when you look in the mirror, the only voice staring back at you is yours. Not his, not theirs, not the shame, not the guilt, not remorse, but just you. And maybe for the first time in a long time, that will be enough. Maybe you've stopped trying to explain yourself. Maybe you've given up hoping that they're going to come around, asking questions, apologizing for believing his version. Or maybe you're just numb now. That numbness is not weakness. It's your body protecting you from one more wound. You've bled enough for people who didn't even ask where it hurt or how it hurt. Now it's time to stop waiting for someone to rescue you from the fire. You walk yourself out. Because the truth inside of this that you haven't fully said out loud is you've already survived it. The gaslighting, the smear campaigns, like the way your world got so quiet when the lies got so loud. You kept breathing when it felt like all air was gone. You kept showing up when everything inside of you screamed for you just to disappear. And even now, even here, you're still fighting for something real, for clarity, for peace, for life where you don't have to explain your worth to people who decided not to see it. That's not small. That's holy. You're not weak for being hurt. You're not broken for feeling this rage. You're not crazy for finally saying enough is enough. And if you've forgotten how to climb, if you feel like your hands are tied and you don't know how to work through this, if you feel that your voice is still shaking when you try to tell the truth, I get it. Because that's what trauma does to you. But healing is not about just being loud and saying it everywhere. It's about being honest. And if you're ready to stop spinning in cycles and circles inside that story that is in your head that should never be yours, if you're ready to stop carrying the weight of their betrayal and start rebuilding a life to you, then it's time for you to engage for you. What I do to help people move forward is help them break the trauma bond, eradicate the triggers, the mental addiction that keeps you oscillating over and over, and help you actually find healthy boundaries for your life. To reestablish you in peace and confidence and clarity and certainty. I can do this by walking you through a simple step and a simple process that I teach. Helping you understand the next steps, the next path, the next direction. I've laid out a path to be able to help you move forward. But now it's time for you to choose. You can go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough to book a free call. It's not just about getting you to move on. It's about you rising, about you reclaiming, not with rage, not with revenge, but with the quiet strength of someone who finally sees herself again and chooses to write her own story. You might show up as the villain of his story because that's what he told other people, but you're not. You're the survivor of his story. Let's walk you out of the ashes. Let's begin again on your terms, recreating the life that you actually want to live, helping you eradicate the triggers, helping you work through the trauma bond, helping you set healthy boundaries, helping you rediscover your purpose and knowing who you are. That's what I do. And inside of this, when you've been with people that have forsaken you, when you've been with people that have walked away, that have gotten silent, it's important for you to get around people who get it. That's why inside of Raw Motivations, we build things around community. Yes, there's challenges for you to walk through. There's community support. There's coaching. There's calls. There's connection. There's all these different pieces. But the community is to help you from isolating. He's already done that a ton. If you continue to isolate, you won't heal. Nobody heals in isolation. I've never met a person from narcissistic abuse that's healed all by themselves because they don't get it, they don't understand it, and there's nobody in their world to actually uphold them and help them move forward. If that's you today, then the time is for you to book a call. Click on the link below, go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough, and let's talk. You're gonna watch a quick video from me explaining a little bit what I do. You're going to fill out a quick form so I can understand where you are, what's going on. You can step into one of our challenges or step into a call. But the goal inside of this is that we give you clarity, and you're going to walk away from that call with clarity, with a piece of paper in front of you actually written out of the next steps for you so that you can heal and find yourself again. Book a free call at rawmotivations.com/breakthrough, and let's have a conversation today.
You've been told it's all your fault, and that makes you feel crazy. No one understands you, and that leaves you in a place of being alone. You've tried to break free multiple times, and that leaves you helpless because nothing you've done has actually worked. It hasn't actually got you free or liberated from this toxic relationship. So you feel crazy, alone, and hopeless. Guess what? That's a lie. Because all it is how you've been raised and conditioned inside of this abusive relationship over and over. And as a result, you've sacrificed your growth, you've sacrificed your worth, and you've been trapped inside of a toxic relationship. What if I showed you the path to freedom? A way for you to actually get free mentally and emotionally from the toxicity that's happening right here, right now. You deserve more. You deserve to be able to heal. And I want to help you with that. If I can help you with that, go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Schedule a call there and let's talk.
You left him. You blocked the number. You deleted the photos. You walked away from the chaos. But if you're really honest, he still lives in your head. You still shrink when someone raises their voice. You still second guess every decision. You still hear his words spoken in your own voice now. That's not healing. That's just surviving on autopilot. No one's told you that this part of the whole journey will be the hardest. Not the leaving, but the aftermath is one of the most difficult pieces. Like where you're out of the relationship, but you're still trapped in the middle of all the damage, in the middle of all the confusion. That's why I created the Reclaim Workshop. It's a one-day trauma-informed workshop for women who've survived narcissistic abuse, but haven't yet fully felt free. We're going to meet in Orlando, Florida, virtually or in person, in July 12th. And in that room, we'll do what the relationship never allowed you to do. We'll tell the truth. We'll break the cycle. And we'll come back home to you. Click on the link. Don't let the ghost of a man control the woman that you're actually becoming now.